China's election meddling exposed the shocking truth about student visas. This past Thursday, the President of the United States delivered a powerful primetime address telling the American people that China has been aggressively meddling in our elections. The claims were eye-popping, and they immediately raise a critical question. What are we going to do about China now? One of the most immediate and impactful actions we could take involves Chinese student visas. Universities are centers for groundbreaking research and technology, but they also present enormous opportunities for espionage. In fact, on the very day of the president's speech, the Department of Homeland Security announced it would be tightening foreign student visa restrictions. But after these revelations, many believe there should be major reductions in Chinese student visas, and fast. So, what exactly did the president allege? He claimed China stole millions of files on American voters, aiming to influence the 2020 presidential election. This stolen data included names, addresses, phone numbers, political affiliations, and other sensitive voter registration information. Furthermore, China allegedly tried to sway business leaders to abandon their support for a presidential candidate and identified American journalists who reported negatively on that presidency, offering them large sums of money to amplify negative reporting. While these claims will take time to fully verify, the White House has released redacted intelligence documents supporting them. The imperative is clear: our electoral system must be safe and secure, as must the private information of American citizens. No business leader or journalist should ever be bribed to support or oppose any American candidate by our nation's adversaries. At the same time, the United States must take every reasonable step to thwart obvious Chinese intelligence operations, making it clear that these measures are a direct response to China's exploitation of America's open society. This isn't a new debate. In August 2025, a previous administration announced that the United States would accept up to 600,000 Chinese students, defending the decision as a continuation of U.S. policy. The argument then was that denying Beijing access to these visas would be insulting and harm crucial trade relations. However, officials like Secretary of State Marco Rubio had previously argued for revoking Chinese visas, particularly for individuals connected to the Chinese Communist Party studying in critical fields. Rubio explicitly called China our nation's top geopolitical adversary, stating that much of our fight against China must happen here at home. And China cares deeply about these U.S. student visas. President Xi Jinping, in his third five-year term with no end in sight, is actively working to replace the United States as the world's most powerful nation. This isn't about maintaining the status quo. China's aims, according to experts, are to disintegrate the West and usher in an anti-democratic order. Central to China's strategy is collecting massive amounts of data on Americans to steer opinions, divide and confuse us, and advance Chinese technology in critical areas like space, advanced AI, aerospace, and quantum computing. It's a simple, deadly formula: divide Americans and strip them of their sensitive national security research, all while maintaining control and unity among the Chinese population to outpace the United States. The Department of Homeland Security has also highlighted a concerning trend. Since 1978, foreign students have been admitted for unspecified periods, allowing thousands to become forever students by perpetually enrolling in courses to avoid departure. This is just one aspect of a larger issue. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese nationals are enrolled in American universities, many focusing on STEM research. While we may want to generously invite foreign nationals, every candidate from China must pass a government and CCP vetting process. Even if a Chinese student has no desire to harm the U.S., they are inherently tied to and responsive to China and the Chinese Communist Party. This past Thursday's address must be an inflection point, not only to galvanize bipartisan support for securing fair elections, but also to protect our nation from Chinese espionage and impose a high cost on China for exploiting our open society.